Greetings, fanboys and fangirls. My book, Cassandra Killjoy, Paranormal Private Eye, The Search for the Swordsman, is available on Amazon.com. You can buy your copy right now by following the link in the description box. And for more information, feel free to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Enjoy the video. Did you know that not only were there plans for a second season to the 2011 Thundercats reboot, but a 5-season run? Unfortunately, we just weren't meant to feel the thunder or hear the roar, as the rest of that amazing story has faded away into nothing more than one of the legends of fandom. Greetings, fanboys and fangirls. I'm Erod and I'm the Blockbuster Buster, and welcome to Legends of Fandom, where we talk about the fanboy films and shows that almost happened. Our story begins in the totally radical era that was the 80s. It was a time in which an animated series having a successful toy line was just as, if not more important, than having good ratings. It was a decade in which shows like He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Ninja Turtles reigned supreme. And somehow, amidst all this supremacy, a little show by Rankin Bass managed to find some success. One that had a very successful toy line by LJN, Thundercats. Created by Ted Wolfe, the series took place in a world that melded science fiction with sword and sorcery. And it follows our eponymous team of heroes who find themselves stranded on a planet called Third Earth, where they must fight to survive as they strive to re-establish their society and protect the powerful Eye of Thundera from the evil mummified sorcerer Mon-Ra. In the 2000s, we saw reboots of all the major 80s franchises, so it's only a matter of time before the Thundercats returned, which finally happened in 2011 thanks to Cartoon Network. This new, more mature and sophisticated version of Thundercats was developed by Ethan Spalding and Michael Jelenic, and featured Robin Atkin Downes as Mon-Ra, Satomi Korogi as Snarf, Eamon Paricello as Wily Cat, Madeline Hall as Wily Kit, Kevin Michael Richardson as Panthro, Emmanuel Chikri as Chitara, Matt Mercer as Tigra, and Will Friedle as Lion-O, who also wrote a few episodes of the show. The series ran for 26 episodes on Cartoon Network's Toonami block, where it developed a loyal audience and maintained impressive ratings. But then, after season 1 concluded with a massive cliffhanger, the show just stopped, even though it was apparent that season 2 had been planned. Then later, we would find out that the series Bible intended for the show to have 5 seasons. So, it's time for the question that you've all been waiting for. What would Thundercats 2011 Season 2 be like? Well, thanks to a podcast interview with art director Dan Norton, we now have a pretty good idea. Season 2 would have started with a bit of a time skip, as we would have seen the story pick up a year or two later, when the balance of power on Third Earth is now leaning towards Mon-Ra, as the demonic sorcerer gains more followers and territory by the day. But what have the Thundercats been up to during this time? Our anthropomorphic feline heroes have been busy establishing New Thundera, an all-inclusive society led by Lion-O, made up of anyone who opposes Mon-Ra, no matter their station in life. But finding allies is easier said than done, as decades of discrimination from the Thunderians towards other species of Third Earth have left a permanent social scar. And there are lots of beings on their planet who would rather be slaves under Mon-Ra than pledge loyalty to the Thunderians. The Thundercats' struggle to gain the trust of the people would have been represented through a story arc involving Humaira. Humaira, who was set up as a potential love interest for Lion-O in Season 1, hates the Thunderians due to them leaving her for dead, only to be resurrected by Mon-Ra. So she pledges her allegiance to him, but Lion-O believes that she can still be redeemed, which creates a great deal of discourse between him and his fellow Thundercats. Eventually, she sees that the Thundercats are not like the Thunderians of old, and she joins them, which leads to the big mid-season cliffhanger. Our heroes go to battle Mon-Ra, only to be betrayed by Humaira, as she is still under his hypnotic control, and Mon-Ra kicks it up another notch by transforming her into an insectoid monster, and has her attack Lion-O, who doesn't have the heart to fight back, because he's in love with her. So right as she's about to strike down our hero with a fatal blow, Tigra jumps in the nick of time to save his brother and kills her. This of course puts even more strain on the brothers' relationship. After much soul-searching, Lion-O determines that he's just not ready to face Mum-Ra, so he decides to go back into the Book of Omens to train, and reluctantly leaves Tigra and Chitara in charge of New Thundera. This is where the mid-season break would have transpired, with the show picking up again in the spring of 2013. Lion-O concludes his training in the Book of Omens and returns to the real world, only to discover that while his training only took a few months, 10 years have passed in the real world. Yes, another time skip. While New Thundera has gained more allies and territories, Mum-Ra still controls 70% of the planet. But Tigra and Chitara have not only proven themselves as worthy leaders, but they have also sired a son, called Bengali. But now that Lion-O has returned, it's time to get back on track to defeat Mum-Ra and save the planet. They believe that the best way to defeat the mummified sorcerer is by collecting the Power Stones. So the Thundercats travel to the astral plane to acquire the Spirit Stone. There they encounter Groon, with whom they have an epic battle, and eventually defeat. And when they do, Panthro gets his arms back, which he sacrificed in Season 1 when they had their last encounter with Groon. Oh yeah, Mum-Ra's forces better watch out, because now Panthro is armed. Sorry. Hold on. Weren't there more Thundercats before the time skip? Re-enter Wily Cat and Wily Kit, who are now grown up and have achieved a lot in the past decade. Wily Cat is now the king of thieves, and Wily Kit is the queen of the elephants. Also, a romance begins to brew between Lion-O and the grown-up Wily Kit, which seems questionable on paper, but might have been okay within the context of the show. Maybe. The rest of the season builds up to their final confrontation with Mum-Ra and his forces, as the Thundercats assemble a massive army comprised of all the different races that occupy the planet, the United Third Earth Rebellion.
So it begins.
As a massive war scene ensues, and as per usual, everything boils down to a one-on-one confrontation between Lion-O and Mum-Ra. But the sorcerer proves to be too powerful, so in spite of all of his training and preparation, Lion-O is no match for Mum-Ra and the Sword of Plum-Dar. But once again, Tigra saves Lion-O, only this time, the older brother is killed in the process. After a touching farewell where Tigra reassures Lion-O that he will be a good king and asks him to take care of his son, Lion-O finally forgives his brother, officially ending their feud. And then, Lion-O faces off against Mum-Ra one last time. Only now that he has finally let go of the animosity he felt towards his brother, he is fighting with pure intent, and has more control over the Sword of Omens, which makes him more than a match for the evil sorcerer. And then, after an epic clash, Lion-O finally defeats Mum-Ra. Time for the epilogue. And so the season would have ended with the remaining Thundercats and Bengali unveiling a statue of Tigra next to all the statues of all the past rulers of Thundera. But what about the other 3 seasons that would have completed the show's intended 5-season run? Well, a few scattered rumors have surfaced detailing this, so please bear with me. Norton did reveal that there were talks to create a story arc for Season 3 in which Lion-O would go on a quest to collect the rest of the Power Stones in order to resurrect Tigra. Some sources say that the bulk of the season would have dealt with the Thunderians vying for more territory, while the remainder of Mum-Ra's forces fight each other over the dead sorcerer's throne. This constant turmoil would have attracted some new villains to come to Third Earth, and use Mum-Ra's absence as an opportunity to take over the planet. Rumor has it that one of these villains would have been T-Ray, who was the main antagonist of the water-based Rankin Bass franchise, Tiger Sharks, which were established as being part of the Thundercats universe during Season 1. The other big bad that was rumored to have appeared had the show continued was Monstar, the main baddie from the extremely popular Rankin Bass series, Silverhawks, who would have been revealed to be Mum-Ra's apprentice, which would have explained why they both have similar transformative powers. Whether or not this would have led to a crossover between the Thundercats, Tiger Sharks, and Silverhawks, we will never know. Again, these are just rumors. And now, it is time for the second most important question of this video. Why didn't this happen? The answer? Toys. it was all due to the toys. Thundercats 2011 was a very expensive show, which is plain to see as the quality is apparent in every second of footage. The producers managed to finance the show via a lucrative toy deal with Bandai, who know a thing or two about financing, promoting, and making money via a collaboration with a TV show. And honestly, all the credit in the world to Bandai, as they held up their end of the deal, funding the show and producing an awesome toy line. There was just one problem. Those extremely awesome toys didn't sell well, which made Bandai hesitant to finance the show any further, which in part made Cartoon Network hesitant to greenlight Season 2, in spite of the fact that the cast and crew were scheduled to appear at a panel at San Diego Comic-Con 2012 to promote Season 2. At the panel, show creators Michael Jelenic and Jeff Brzezinkowski simply said that the show was on hiatus. It wouldn't be until March 2013 that Dan Norton revealed via social media that the show had been cancelled. And that was that. Thundercats just stopped. I said Thundercats just stopped. Thank you. Right now there are constant rumors that Warner Brothers has a Thundercats movie in the works, but no real concrete news on that production is yet to surface. But what do you think? Do you want Warner Brothers to finally commit to a live-action Thundercats movie? Or would you rather see Thundercats 2011 continue? Let me know in the comment section below, as we have once again reached the end of this video. So, do you know of any fanboy films or shows that almost happened? Let me know at erod@inbox.com. And who knows, your suggestion might just end up being the subject of the next Legends of Fandom. Until then, I'm Erod, and I'm the Blockbuster Buster.